Hi there, I'm pastor and author Robert B. Scott of freedomchurchofgod.com, and I've got another surprising video. Not as surprising as Jesus hates Christmas, but it still is surprising. Jesus hates Easter. Why does Jesus hate Easter? Because it does not celebrate his resurrection. It celebrates the Babylonian goddess of war and sex. How about that? That's the truth. She was Astarte. She was called Ashtaroth in Hebrew. The Babylonian name was Ishtar, which was pronounced like Easter, Ishtar, or Semiramis, Baal's wife, or Nimrod, who was Baal, his wife. She was called the Queen of Heaven. It was said she ascended to heaven and she was the moon goddess, and that she came down in an egg from the moon. Ishtar's egg, does that ring a bell? Easter egg? Ishtar's egg was the first Easter egg. She claims the sun's or Baal's rays impregnated her and she had Tammuz, her son Tammuz. She loved rabbits. Tammuz loved rabbits, of course, and which it became sacred because he loved them. And Semiramis was a sex goddess. She used the rabbit as a sex symbol. Does that sound familiar? Anybody who's ever looked at a Playboy? It's the rabbit, isn't it? It's still there. The symbol of sex is the rabbit, as we know from Playboy bunnies. Anyway, you'll see the whole gory, sexy story if you Google Easter history. What your pastor does not want you to know. Now, this is a very controversial video, and it's called Easter history if you Google it. And this pastor would like you to know it because it's true. But it's very controversial. Most pastors wouldn't want you to know this stuff because they want you to keep Easter. But this pastor wants you to add to the 35,000 hits they already have because it's the best explanation of Easter I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them. Easter is pagan to the core, but you can keep the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread this year, starting on the night of April the 14th. Interesting that Aviv the 14th, or Nisan 14, falls the same date as the 14th of April this year. The 16th being the first day of unleavened bread. The only mistake they made in this video was that they think the Feast of First Fruits was during unleavened bread. No, the Feast of First Fruits is Pentecost. It was 50 days after unleavened bread. This was the day of the wave sheaf they're talking about, not the Feast of First Fruits. But that's about the only mistake they make. They have a lot of good points. So you don't have to swallow the big pagan lies. Your church may keep the days of Easter, but your free will. You can go away from that and say, no, I'm going to keep Passover. I'm going to keep unleavened bread. It's your choice. You can go along with the world, go along with Easter, because everybody does it. Everybody believed the earth was flat for many, many years, and finally they figured out it was round. Well, God said it was round in Isaiah already, and God says, keep my feast, keep my days, not pagan days. Come on now. Why would you take an egg, an Easter egg that was covered in the blood of those who died in these sacrifices? They used to have human blood around these eggs. So why would you celebrate the death? Why would you celebrate these things that are from paganism? God doesn't want us to mix paganism. Deuteronomy 12 verses 30-32, Jeremiah 10 verses 4-8 explain that God does not want pagan feasts. He says, don't mix paganism and my days. Keep my Passover. Keep the days of unleavened bread, and you'll understand about Jesus and his resurrection. You don't have to keep a pagan day. It's not worth it. It's against what God says to do, and you will not be blessed. If you go along with the world, it is your choice.